I got to be honest, I'm a little sleepy. I was just joking about the fact that I get tired even having to wake up a little bit early for these junkets. But I wanted to know your secret because you, and Tom especially, have been bringing the energy to Sandy for 25 years. What is your secret? What do you bottle up to keep that magic alive?
I steal some from Tom.
Yeah.
See, Tom has enough. Tom overflows. So Tom overflows with the energy, and then I just take little bits.
And then, you know, it's perfect because it's so contagious when you can hear it on screen as well. But on that same note, I really like the animation style that SpongeBob has kind of adapted and really kind of brought the characters into the 21st century with this kind of 3D computer animation style. Has there been a time in the 25 years that you can remember that's really reinvigorated your love for this character, or is it this movie?
It's interesting because when Camp Coral happened, that was the first time I can remember that the look had changed so dramatically, right? And it was the first time, like, it's something called tracking shots, right? Where the camera can actually go with the characters in a different way, right? Because of the technology. So I remember that happening and my brain had to go, what? But I do think this movie, it was the first time that I've seen a movie where there was live action and animation and my brain fully merged and believed, like, I didn't see, there was no seam anymore. Like, they really, like, there's a scene in the pool where SpongeBob's underwater and there's live action humans and it's so seamless that I forgot that they were two different mediums. It's insanely beautiful. Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. This is our first full-length feature Sandy adventure. Congrats on that. In the 25 years, though, what's been one of Sandy's adventures or maybe one of her centric episodes that's been one of your favorites?
Okay, so like most kids, you dream about being things, right? You want to be a firefighter, or you want to be president, or you want to be a rock star. And then you realize you don't have rock star capabilities, but then you're a squirrel and the squirrel gets to sing and then everything's perfect. So it would be anytime she gets to sing.
Well, and congrats because you got to sing in this movie, which is fantastic as well.
I know. Moniker did such a great job with the music in this movie, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I think the music especially is fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. So it didn't happen until now when we got our first full-length Sandy adventure. So in your eyes, why is now the perfect time for a Sandy-centric film?
I don't know. It's so interesting. If you look back, like when SpongeBob first hit the air, and we kind of flew under the radar, right? We premiered. I don't think we had a ton of network hype. There was no, and we just kind of like quietly became this thing that's now 25 years later. And I don't know why now Sandy's doing what she's doing, but it must be the magic that had SpongeBob do what it did when it did. Like, all the pieces have to come together, right? To make something click with the fans. Mm-hmm. And I think for whatever reason, right now, it's that magical moment.
With all the voice actors that I've been lucky enough to interview, there's always a key piece of their persona that fits perfectly with the character if you dig deep enough. And I'm really curious because Sandy, especially in this film, kind of has always felt like a fish out of water or a squirrel underwater, I guess if you want to call it that. So has that ever been a part of your life? Do you relate to Sandy in that way?
Yeah, very much so. Well, I'm very furry in real life. No, I'm kidding. No, I think that when I was a kid, I was what I call a floater, where I didn't have like a core group. I didn't fit in this group, and I didn't fit in that group, and that group didn't want me. And so I just like floated between, right? And very much like that, I feel like Sandy. I didn't really ever have a place where I felt like I completely fit in. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I think more people feel that way than they'll admit.
Well, that's a perfect segue because I was going to say after 25 years, you had to have found your family, which is another kind of motif within the film as well. I'm curious what your relationship is. If you had to define it kind of in a family dynamic, what's Tom like to you? Is he like a brother? You know, what are the other voice actors like to you? I mean, it's easy to just say family, but what do you think your role specifically in this family is?
It's funny too, because like in family, everybody has a different perspective, right? You might think your dad was overbearing, and your sibling might think your dad was hilarious. Same dad, right? So I don't know what the boys would say about me, but I think early on, I felt very much like a mom. I felt very much like, no, you sit here and you go there, and I've got this, and we all stay together. And I felt like I was always trying to like keep the family together. But now I feel like I've become like the sister, like the wacky younger sister or something. I don't know. Not that much younger. We're all the same age. But it does feel like it shifted. I feel like a little less mom and a little more sister.
I love it. That's great. Well, often, I will speak from experience, sisters can often act as mothers anyways. My two certainly did growing up. There's some great big name talent in this movie, specifically in the Cheeks family, which is great. And I'm curious because, you know, COVID changed voice acting a little bit. Sometimes people would act in studios together. Did you get an opportunity to bounce off, you know, Craig Robinson or Johnny Knoxville at all? Did you guys film at the same time, or was it kind of just you had to find that family dynamic when you were filming your voices and kind of hearing what they had done already?
Yeah, normally we do all like to record together, and that's how the cast wants it to be, and that's how Nickelodeon wants it to be, and that's how it usually works. But because of COVID and this and that and the way the world is and blah, 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 we didn't get to do that together. I mean, the core cast, we did a lot of, as much as we could, right? But no, with like, you know, Johnny Knoxville and yeah, I didn't get to meet them. But our team always made us feel connected anyway. So Liza and Tom Kenny, who supported some of the voice directing, they brought that to us. So we still could feel connected and still feel like a family, even if we weren't able to be in the same room.
As the show of SpongeBob has grown and the adventures, so too have the kids who originally watched the show, you know, 25 years ago. Like you said, a lot of them are fiercely loyal to SpongeBob, I'm sure, as you know. What would you say to the older, perhaps more discerning generation of SpongeBob fans to reassure them that this movie is a classic SpongeBob adventure?
You have to trust the team, right? You've loved us all these years. And the team loves us too. Like, we love our brand and we love our world, and we will never do anything to hurt, because it is all Steve Hillenburg created such a phenomenal world, and we don't want to do anything to it. We're like fiercely protecting it at all times. So I would say have trust in us, because we really love this movie, and we want the franchise to be able to grow too. It's like when you raise children, right? You don't want them to leave the house, but you need them to leave the house, right? And this is the same. We want everything to be able to grow. We just want to know that we gave it a good foundation so it makes really good choices.
Absolutely. Well, you haven't let us down in 25 years, so I think, you know, this film is just another example of fans will love it, I'm sure. But congratulations on a quarter century and on Sandy's first big adventure.
Thank you. It's a wild ride.
Hey Real students, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Real School, click that round Real School logo right beside me. Also click that damn notification bell so you're aware of all of Real School's new content. You can follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link in the description below or the button down there, and you can become part of my Patreon team.